Hello, welcome to Flower Juice. My name is John McDonald, and today I'm going to make an arrangement. Now, normally, if we're making an arrangement, we would maybe make it in foam or into chicken wire or some sort of mechanic. But today, I want to make an arrangement using this container, and we're going to use a hand-tied technique. So essentially, we're going to make flowers in a vase, but they're held together and arranged in the hand before they go into the vase. So I've got a range of different things. I've got some nice Hosta leaves and bergenia. We've got some carnations, roses as our main flower, a few alstroemeria. I've got some really nice aspidistra, which is going to give us a little bit of kind of structure in there. We've got some nice gerberas and a little bit of this plum as well. This is like kind of wild plum, I think. It's in my garden, but I really like the colour with the gerbera. I think is quite nice. So essentially, we're going to make a little hand tie. So the first thing we're going to do is create a little framework with our foliage. So I'm just using my hand as like a vase, essentially. So I'm holding this loosely. I'm going to work in a kind of triangular way, and we're going to spiral our stems. So basically, when we're coming in, we're going to keep that consistent, that actual spiral that's there. Now, there's different ways to make a hand tie. I quite like using my foliage first to create a base, and then from there I add the flowers, because then you can really place your flowers exactly where you want. Whereas you can make your arrangement with your flowers and your foliage as you go. But I think in a way, the foliage gives you a framework. So if you do your foliage first, then you know exactly where you want to place your flowers. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm just working around in a structured way. So we're wanting to keep things equal and balanced. And then we're going to be able to see exactly where we want our flowers to go. Now I'm going to keep a couple of the aspidistra leaves just in case. And we'll start with our alstroemeria. And I want it to go in kind of deep. So some people, when they're learning how to do like a hand tie, they struggle a little bit because they find that they get very tired, their hand gets tired. What you really need to do is keep this hand just loose. If you find that it is tiring, just drop your hand down and you can rest the whole bouquet onto the edge of the desk or table. And that will stop your hand from getting tired out. So in a way, this is going to be not like a big loose open bouquet, but more of a compact, grouped sort of a bouquet. Now, what I did when I started prepping my materials was just take off any leaves that I know would end up under the water. If there's leaves under the water, they're just going to rot and they're going to cause a problem with the actual water. So your flowers are not going to last as well. I quite like these carnations because they're quite old-fashioned. And because we've got some on one side, we're going to bring some to the other side. And you can see that we need one or two down into here as well. So as you can see, we're just building this up. And I'm trying to get a range of heights. So recessing some of the materials, grouping some of the materials. When you get things sitting side by side, that's when you see the contrast. So we're getting contrast of colours, we're getting contrast of heights. And a bit of eucalyptus there. It's actually really, we're keeping the flowers in that more compact, but we can bring out some of the foliage. So this just shows you, by prepping everything and having it nice and clean, you can really see what you're doing because you're seeing it on the background. I do like the big leaves. I think these really set off the flowers. So we've got some nice bergenia and some nice hosta. Now we've got a lot of interest going on here, but I just want to add a couple of little alliums. And these alliums are going to create a little bit of movement and also a little bit of height into the design. We can actually come up a little bit. I want to make it so that it kind of sits a little bit off. Right, so that is our bouquet. As you can see, everything is spiraled. We've got everything passing through that binding point. And as long as there's water in the vase that comes up to the binding point, then we know that everything is in water. Now I'm just using some raffia here to tie this off. You can use just twine. If you can use like a natural material, that's even better. So rather than a poly twine, then something natural is good, because when the arrangement is finished, then you can just put the whole thing into the bin or into the compost. So we've got our container. We're going to add a nice depth of water. And then we can cut our stems. Now, I've picked up the wrong secateurs. These ones have got no spring. I don't like to throw them out because I do use them in the garden, because I'm really bad in the garden for taking out secateurs and then losing them. And then I find them like 6 months later. So for here, we're just going to go straight across. And then just see. So that's a little bit high, so we're going to take a little bit more off it. Better to start longer and you can go shorter. If you go the other way, then you're a bit stuck. I think we can even take a little bit more off that. It seems amazing, or a little bit wasteful cutting it short. But if it doesn't look right in the container, then that is going to be a bit stupid. So let me just get rid of this. And there we go. So what we've got is we've got a really interesting bouquet. We've got basically things grouped. We've got recession. We've got some big leaves in contrast to our flowers. We've got a nice range of textures. And we've got an item that would be really nice as a gift. Or if you're just wanting to enjoy the flowers for yourself, then this is the ideal item for having at home. It's very easy to give the water a change, and you can then just enjoy your flowers. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. We've got videos regularly and we'd love you to join us for our next video. If you haven't already subscribed, we'd really, really appreciate it. And if you can hit the like button as well, that really does help our channel. If you're wanting a little bit more floral inspiration, have a look in the description box. We'll post a link for another video there. And until the next time, We hope to see you soon.